Scientists have found a way to grow human organs in animals. Yes, you heard that right.
Scientists are doing the unthinkable at faraway research sites by erasing distinctions between species in ways that go against nature's established order. These works of art are both intriguing and unsettling. You have entered a universe where scientific research takes precedence above moral considerations, and the bizarre beings that emerge from these labs cast doubt on our understanding of existence. Number 20. Human-cow hybrid. An intriguing investigation about hybrids of human and animal species was conducted in 2008. It was an interesting endeavor since the objective was to find a way to treat Parkinson's illness. It's the scientific equivalent of testing the limits of what we know in the hopes of discovering novel answers to pressing issues, or maybe the return of the dinosaurs. There are worse things to do, like pester calves for eggs or devour 3 bowls of cereal before working out, but this is better. To test their hypothesis, researchers transplanted human cells into a cow's egg nucleus. The result was the blastocyst, a cloned embryo that served as a source of stem cells for scientific inquiry. Though groundbreaking, it begs the issue of how far we should go in our pursuit of genetic engineering. An environmental watchdog organization called Friends of the Earth responded angrily to this trial, expressing worries about the possible risks of drinking milk from cows that had been genetically modified. They expressed concern that this milk may be hazardous to human and environmental health. The organization demanded that American authorities remove human-cow hybrid milk from the country's food supply. Some individuals have reported allergic responses after consuming genetically modified foods. Having said that, studies on these human-cow hybrids' milk production are still in their infancy. And if these GMOs got out and started reproducing, they may have unintended consequences for other animal groups. Number 19. Grizzly polar bear hybrid. Polar bears and grizzly bears used to inhabit different planets, separated by great distances. However, polar bears started migrating south into grizzlies' territory when the polar ice caps shrank due to climate change. Because of this change, these two remarkable species have never before interacted. For a long time, people have wondered whether polar or grizzly bears would come out on top in a battle. Even if this argument persists, the reality is far less sensational. Rather than fighting, bears whose habitats overlap are more likely to develop love feelings for one another. A remarkable event occurs: the birth of a new species of bear called the pizzle, or geyser bear. Pizzles are what? The offspring of a mating between grizzly and polar bears is known as a pizzle. A polar bear's coat and the grizzly's darker hair and bigger claws are both inherited by a hybrid. Their unique combination of traits makes them fascinating research subjects, and they have the potential to rise to prominence in the animal world. Number 18. Woolly mammoth. Woolly mammoths were enormous animals that lived on Earth more than 10,000 years ago, and now scientists are undertaking a remarkable mission to reintroduce them. Instead of trying to bring these extinct giants back to life, scientists are planning to utilize CRISPR, a cutting-edge gene-editing tool, to breed Asian elephants with mammoth genes. The return of mammoths to Earth is a matter of when, not if, and less than 5 years from now. To adapt to colder climates like the tundra, where mammoths formerly thrived, this involves giving elephants traits like smaller ears and more body fat. The goal of this endeavor, however, is not only the survival of a long-extinct species, but rather the development of a new hybrid animal type. There are major moral questions that arise from this intriguing possibility. To bring back the elephant's modern-day equivalent of a mammoth, scientists are basically rewriting its cells. Ecosystems and biodiversity are two areas that might be significantly impacted. There are those in the biological community who are worried that the pressing need to preserve our present-day biodiversity may be neglected if efforts are made to revive extinct species. In addition, there is a risk that unanticipated alterations may occur if genetically modified animals are released into the wild, potentially changing climatic trends and influencing other species. These hybrid elephants pose a threat to ecological stability. Therefore, while restoring mammoths is an intriguing notion, it is crucial to thoroughly assess the hazards and unforeseen effects before proceeding with this daring undertaking. Number 17. Kama. An interesting hybrid, the Kama is the offspring of a llama and a dromedary camel. Hybridization between camels and llamas is a recent development since the two species normally exclusively breed with each other. A male dromedary camel and a female llama were mated in 1995 to produce the first Kama. Camels and llamas are so drastically different in stature that they are unable to mate independently. Furthermore, the specific reasons why efforts to inseminate female camels with male llamas failed to produce a pregnancy are yet unknown. Like llamas, camels have long, fluffy coats and don't have humps. Their ears are a peculiar combination of llama and camel features. But this doesn't change the fact that camels are ideal for desert terrains, since they keep the camel's strong legs. Their hooves are a cross between the cloven hoof of llamas and the footpad of camels. Although camels are fertile, no children have been created from two camels. This is due to the fact that camels and llamas both have 74 chromosomes. Rather of camels, llamas become the preferred prey of adult camels. Number 16. Zonki. A zonki is an unusual hybrid breed that originated by mating zebras and donkeys. A zonki? Ever seen one? Meet Xander, the zebra donkey, brought to you by 5 News reporter Laura Castleman. This interesting animal is a zebroid, a mix of zebra and other species. Hybrid zebras have been present since the 1800s, despite the fact that the majority of them cannot reproduce. Although they were originally domesticated to aid in the transportation and carrying of weapons, their distinctive look as exotic riding horses led to their selective breeding for aesthetic purposes. The primary goal of zebra horse hybridization was to produce a horse with enhanced resistance to several illnesses. An extraordinary occurrence occurred in Kenya's Chulu Hills National Park around the beginning of 2020. A pregnant zebra was rescued by caregivers and brought to the park. She surprised everyone by giving birth to a zonki, a fascinating hybrid that is both uncommon and unusual in the park. Number 15. Beetle-computer hybrid. An incredible feat was accomplished by scientists in 2006 when they implanted a computer chip inside a live beetle, allowing them to control the insect's movements. Just like the last one, this cockroach isn't thinking. It follows instructions from a microchip in its knapsack. This was a real-life breakthrough, even if it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. This was distinct from earlier experiments in which scientists attempted to transform insects into robots. This was the first time scientists were able to keep the bug under tight control in the lab without limiting its freedom of choice when left to its own devices. Envision using this technique in building collapse simulations. Think about a real, breathing beetle that can humbly obey directions like a little robot. Exciting and far-reaching possibilities lie ahead of this endeavor. Think about its use in emergency scenarios, for instance. It is critical to locate and rescue individuals as soon as possible when natural catastrophes occur. Given their little size and manageability, these artificially intelligent beetles have the potential to be very useful. They have the ability to explore confined locations that are inaccessible to bigger robots or people, which might greatly improve the speed with which victims of disasters are located. However, there are other potential uses than emergency response. Instead of constructing whole robots from the ground up, it is easier and cheaper to make tiny insect robots. The development of a small controlled insect robot is all that is required. Researchers need just create the chip and radio components and connect them to a controller. Because it makes developing new technologies simpler and cheaper, this invention has the potential to radically alter the robotics industry. Number 14. Liger. A liger is an intriguing hybrid animal that results from mating a tiger with a lion. These majestic animals are among the largest ligers on Earth, if not the biggest, with a potential weight of over 900 pounds and a length of over 10 feet. Large ligers may reach an incredible 2,200 pounds in the wild, according to Myrtle Beach Safari. Because of their distinct habits and geographic separation, lions and tigers hardly encounter one another. Thus, all known ligers today are products of captive breeding efforts or accidental encounters. It wasn't until the late 1700s that the first documented instance of breeding lions with tigresses in captive was made. The global population of ligers was estimated to be approximately 100 in 2017. Arthur, a calm and kind lion, is the father of the ligers. The potential health problems that can result from raising lions and tigers together have led several governments and animal rights organizations to urge against the practice. Birth abnormalities, obesity, and aberrant growth may all put a load on a liger's organs and reduce the length of their lives. Their routines don't fit neatly into either species' regular patterns, which might make it difficult for them to engage with other members of their own kind. Rumor has it that wild ligers do exist, but in reality, they are exclusively kept in captivity and purposefully produced. Ligers swiftly mature into the biggest cats in the world, despite their very brief lifespan. Big cats are beloved by many because of their perceived awesomeness. After all, what could possibly be larger than the largest of these creatures? Number 13. Human-chimpanzee hybrid. Here we have the horror show of crossbreeding experiments, the human-chimpanzee hybrid. There was no hard proof for the idea of a human-chimpanzee hybrid until the discovery of all other known chimpanzees. For many years, the idea of a human-chimpanzee hybrid has piqued the interest of many. The idea of a hybrid species has endured in science fiction and folklore, even though chimpanzees and humans diverged along distinct evolutionary pathways long ago. The successful development and birth of so-called human embryos has been the subject of several questionable assertions over the years. A human-chimpanzee hybrid purportedly conceived in the 1920s at a research facility in Orange Park, Florida, was the subject of astounding allegations made by evolutionary psychologist Gordon Gallup in 2018, which emerged as one of the most frightening tales. Gallup reports that an unidentified human sperm donor was used to inseminate a female chimpanzee. Using human sperm, they successfully inseminated a female chimpanzee, and the result was an astonishing pregnancy. The gestation period was completed, and a hybrid being was subsequently born. Researchers were initially taken aback by the finding, maybe perplexed by the baby's unusual combination of chimpanzee and human characteristics. The consequences of their actions, however, didn't take long to become apparent. After considering the moral and ethical implications of creating this hybrid, the researchers chose to put a stop to the experiment by euthanizing the baby. We can do it the other way around. Maybe we can impregnate human females with chimp sperm. Although Pisley sightings are uncommon, experts suspect there could be more of these hybrids in the wild than we realize. The first report of a Pisley was in 2006. Because of their hybrid appearance, these unusual bears have piqued the interest of scientists. Number 12. Molly guppy hybrid. Guppies and molly fish are both members of the Poecilia genus. Thus, crossing them is like putting together two jigsaw pieces that complement each other perfectly. The fascinating process often results in the development of hybrid fish that are affectionately referred to as muppies or glayfish. To the delight of fish enthusiasts, these hybrids may display an eye-popping array of characteristics inherited from both parents, including a rainbow of colors, forms, and fin types. Although they share certain genes, guppies and mollies need different things to be healthy and create offspring. This implies that hybrids may have trouble staying alive and healthy, despite their beautiful appearance. Unfortunately, not all hybrids will be successful. It is essential to focus on the specifics if you want to attempt this hybridization. A regulated environment with high-quality water and attentive maintenance is required. It is crucial to closely monitor the growth and well-being of the hybrids, as they may need different care than the parent species. Number 11. Holen. And Holens aren't any different. What then is the outcome of a whale-dolphin hybrid? Another species is born into the world. Discovered in 1985, this intriguing animal is a hybrid of the Atlantic bottlenose dolphin and the fake killer whale. There have been a few of sightings of Hollands in both wild and captive settings since their discovery. The Holland is unique since it inherited characteristics from both of its parents. On average, Hollands are somewhat longer than bottlenose dolphins and false killer whales, measuring in at little over 6 feet. In comparison to their parent species, they are slimmer and have shorter flippers. The Holland's social behavior is another fascinating feature. Its social behavior is more like to that of dolphins. It forms strong attachments with its fellow group members and often participates in fun pursuits like surfing and chasing. Number 10. Dodo bird revival. All throughout the world, people are captivated by the unusual and unforgettable dodo bird. Rhaphis cucullatus is the scientific name for this rare bird species that was native to the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius. Its plump bulk, short legs, and big curved beak gave it the appearance of being around the size of a turkey. The dodo, a bird closely related to the pigeon, was well known for its kind and curious personality. The dodo became famous among seafarers and explorers the moment it was seen by Europeans in the 16th century. Dodos were easy prey for hunters due to their naivete and lack of inhibitions. The colonization and development of Mauritius led to the destruction of the bird's native environment as its meat, eggs, and feathers were sought for. The situation became much more dire when introduced exotic species such as monkeys, rats, and pigs began preying on the dodo and its eggs. The dodo was officially declared extinct in the late 17th century after the last documented sighting in 1662, despite attempts to preserve it. Dodos are a potent reminder of the significance of preserving our planet's species, and they continue to serve as a symbol of extinction and conservation in modern times. The dodo was a herbivore that preyed on fruits, nuts, and seeds. Its name comes from the Portuguese word dodo, which means lunatic or foolish. It may not have been able to fly, but it sprinted quickly and had an excellent nose for scent. Even the prospect of resurrecting the dodo using pigeon DNA is being considered by scientists. The dodo's demise greatly impacted the island of Mauritius's biodiversity because of the vital role it played in the island's environment. Number 9. Cuban croc. A disturbing finding has been revealed by a group of Cuban and American academics in a landmark genomic study on crocodile hybrids. Interbreeding between American and Cuban crocodiles threatens the already dwindling Cuban crocodile population, which is unique to the Cuban archipelago and is in dire risk of extinction. The ability of Cuban and American crocodiles to hybridize in captivity has been known for some time, but this research is the first to prove that it happens in nature. The ferocity and amazing jumping abilities of Cuban crocodiles have earned them a unique position in Cuban folklore. There may be more or less than 3,000 Cuban crocodiles in the Laner Swamp on the Island of Youth, and an estimated 3,000 in the Zapata Swamp, according to biologists. From the middle of the 19th century until the 1960s, their number was drastically reduced as a result of widespread hunting. A total of 89 crocodiles, 2 from zoo specimens and 89 from the wild, were studied for their DNA. Crocodiles from the United States and Cuba are surprisingly more closely connected to crocodiles from Cuba than to crocodiles from mainland Central America, according to DNA study. Cuban and American crocodiles share under 1% genetic variation, whereas Cuban-American crocodiles and mainland crocodiles share 8%. Important for both conservation efforts and the evolutionary history of the species, this finding implies that Cuban crocodiles may represent 2 separate evolutionary groups. Hybridization poses a significant danger to Cuban crocodiles, according to the experts. Hybridization, in addition to illicit hunting and habitat degradation, poses a threat to pure Cuban crocodile lineages, since it might result in genetic mixing or possibly replacement. Number 8. Jeep. Envision a fantastic new animal that combines the best features of a goat and a sheep. What is the outcome? A petting zoo in Arizona may have the solution. There, a cute and unusual creature known as a Jeep is causing quite a stir. An intriguing hybrid, this one is a cross between a goat and a sheep. Because of their vast genetic differences, the progeny of these 2 species seldom make it beyond the mating season. Goats and sheep often share pastures, yet hybrids of the two species are still rare. Everyone from Arizona to the rest of the nation has fallen in love with Butterfly, a charming geep that was born in Skotal. Her distinctive black spots, which give her a small butterfly appearance, are the inspiration for her name. Due to her multicolored appearance, she resembles a butterfly. Not only was Butterfly of a rare breed, but the petting zoo owner had no idea the mother was pregnant, so her birth was even more of a shock. We were not even aware that she was pregnant because we don't have a male. While her father's goat features and feet are evident in Butterfly, her mother's sheep fleece and longer tail are her most distinctive features. Butterfly does not look like a sheep at all, what with all her boundless energy and mischievous antics. Her charm has no bounds. Number 7. Naruga. Surprisingly, a hybrid of narwhals and beluga whales was identified in the late 1980s. This extraordinary species was named the Naruga. Instead of the typical beluga whale, a fisherman caught a strange species. The horn that is characteristic of narwhals was present on this beast, which had gray skin. The fisherman painstakingly kept the skull of this peculiar catch because he was fascinated by it. An inquisitive scholar over a decade later saw the skull atop the fisherman's home and wondered where it had come from. Researchers couldn't figure it out until after 30 years had passed. The Naruga was determined to be a first-generation hybrid by DNA testing, consisting of a mother from the narwhal breed and a father from the beluga breed. Discovered at an advanced age, the Naruga offers a unique window into the phenomenon of hybridization among these Arctic creatures. To tell you the truth, the more you find out, the stranger they become. Belugas and narwhals share a habitat, however the two seldom meet. The birth of a Naruga is a remarkable occurrence, happening around once per million births, due to the low mating success rate of this species and the fact that their progeny are often sterile. Number 6. Toiger. The stunning appearance and endearing disposition of the Toiger cat make it a lovely blend of large cat grace and petite cat friendliness. Judy Sugden, the cat's creator in the 1980s, was the daughter of Jean Mill, the breed's original propagator. The Toiger is a hybrid of a Bengal and a striped domestic short-haired cat. Finding breeders of Toiger cats might be a challenge since the breed is still in its infancy. The Toiger is a designer cat with an abundance of tiger traits. The term Toiger combines the words toy and tiger, which is a fitting combination since the breed is intended to look like little tigers. Toigers were fashioned to resemble little house tigers, while Bengals were shaped to resemble miniature leopards. Beyond that, Sugden wanted to bring attention to the plight of actual wild tigers and the importance of their conservation efforts. Because they are so rare, Toiger kittens may fetch prices ranging from $1,500 to $5,000. A Toiger is a good choice for someone with a lot of disposable income. Some breeders, however, continue Sugden's work by donating a portion of their profits to tiger conservation efforts. Number 5. Mallard Pintail Hybrid. One of the most prevalent wild hybrids in North America is the offspring of mallards and pintails. The following duck hybrids are common among mallards: gadwalls, cinnamon teals, green-winged teals, widgeon shovelers, and black ducks. Due to their lack of physical characteristics shared by either parent species, hybrid ducks have a hard time attracting mates. Because of their complicated personalities and actions, they may not be the most desirable romantic partners. Hybrid males may, for instance, be deficient in the colorful plumage and wooing abilities that are essential to attracting and maintaining a partner. In extreme cases, this may even cause species to become extinct. One of the biggest problems for conservationists is that mallards are very competitive breeders and often hybridize with other closely related species. Due to mallards' eastward expansion, hybrids between the two species are becoming more prevalent in places where American black ducks were once abundant. More opportunities for hybridization have arisen due to their increased contact with black ducks. Deforestation has altered the wintering grounds and migratory patterns of black ducks, which has further enhanced their connection with one another. With the clearing of formerly inaccessible forests, mallards and black ducks are now able to interact more often. Number 4. Super ball python hybrid. Intrigued by the cross between the ball python and the marble or blood Borneo short-tailed python, the intriguing super ball python is a hybrid breed in its own right. The intriguing combination of green, black, and tan scale patterns inherited from both parent species gives this rare hybrid its stunning look. These serpents, when fully grown, may reach a length of 3 to 5 feet, which is both a reasonable and remarkable size for snake aficionados. Because of their hardiness and longevity, super ball pythons may live up to 15 years when kept as pets. Their stunning look and relatively basic maintenance needs make them a popular option among reptile keepers, thanks to their hardy nature. While reptile hybridization is nothing new, the many different ball python hybrids produced stand out because to their prevalence and diversity. Although hybridization may happen naturally, it is quite astounding how many different types of hybrids can be created in a controlled environment. About 56 ball python hybrids have been officially acknowledged so far, and many more are waiting for confirmation from reputable herpetology groups. Number 3. Jackalope mythology. An intriguing mythical beast from North American tradition, the jackalope combines rabbit and antelope or deer traits. Think of a jackrabbit as a deer with antlers or antelope horns. For a long time, this legendary crossbreed has captivated people's thoughts. Legend has it that mystical bunnies once bestowed their horns on deer, and this is where the jackalope got its start. Douglas Herrick of Douglas, Wyoming, however, is responsible for giving rise to the contemporary jackalope in its current form. Herrick came up with the concept of using rabbit and deer antlers together after a successful rabbit hunt. The inspiration for this amusing sculpture came from a pair of antlers that he had put next to several rabbit corpses in his taxidermy business. Even though he sold the jackalope for $10 as a joke, it quickly became an urban legend and became cherished by many. The legendary beasts were supposedly vicious and playful. People used to believe that these animals could sing along with campfire tunes and mimic human voices, but legend has it that they would also sting people's legs with their antlers if they felt threatened. Stovepipes were purportedly worn by lumberjacks on their legs. It was said that offering a jackalope a glass of whiskey was the only certain method to win it over. Some people think that actual rabbits infected with the Shope papilloma virus, the one that causes horn-like growths on rabbits, may have served as inspiration for these horned rabbit tails. Number 2. Beefalo. The interesting hybrid of domestic cow and buffalo is known as beefalo. One definition of beefalo is a cross between a cow and an American bison. This rare breed, which combines the finest qualities of both species, initially emerged in the 1970s. Currently, the genetic makeup of a beefalo consists of 38% buffalo, 58% domestic cattle, and at least 17.5% bison. Beefalo have bypassed the problems that previously plagued efforts to breed buffalo with cattle, which often led to sterile animals. Beefalo differ from buffalo in that they are broad-shouldered and muscular rather than having a prominent hump. Their attractive look is enhanced by their well-sculpted hindquarters. When compared to their more untamed buffalo cousins, beefalo are more amiable due to their placid temperament. Always use caution when dealing with bulls, but they are a fantastic alternative for adventurous farmers. The fact that beefalo are resistant to many diseases is one of their main benefits. Their buffalo ancestry makes them more robust than conventional cattle. Their silky, thick coats let them to thrive in a wide range of conditions, providing them with year-round comfort. They are a popular alternative for cattle production due to their durability and flexibility. Famous for their endless procreation and long, robust lives, beefalo are a popular livestock choice. In addition to being great moms, their meat is highly regarded for its flavorful texture and reduced cholesterol and fat levels. Meat eaters looking for a healthier alternative might choose beefalo, which has up to 6% more protein than regular beef. Number 1. Human-mouse hybrid. The genetic engineering of a human-mouse hybrid has been successfully developed. Researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital performed a strange experiment in 1993 by putting cartilage cells into a mouse's spine. The end product was a mouse that developed an ear like a human's on its back. Although the Vacanti mouse had the appearance of a prop from a science fiction film, the experiment's true purpose was to investigate the feasibility of creating human-like artificial organs for transplantation. Their goal was to lay the groundwork for the eventual creation of artificial organs suitable for transplantation into humans. Although the experiment was deemed successful, the future of artificial organs used in human transplantation remains questionable. One of the most interesting and strange medical tests that has ever been done was with the Vacanti mouse. Just the thought of mice makes this quite unsettling. Ever since then, researchers have used the Vacanti mouse as a template to develop other organs, including lungs and hearts. Researchers are hopeful that this technology may one day be able to assist those in need of organ transplants by manufacturing organs that are a perfect match. Having said that, not everyone finds these tests to be pleasant. A number of legislators have sought to establish guidelines for the use of chimera animals that have been engineered to include human organs or cells, as well as transgenic animals that carry human DNA. For example, a federal measure put forward by former Representative Sam Brownback and state legislation in Arizona and Louisiana both seek to strike a balance between innovation and ethics. It is legal to breed animals using human cells or organs. However, there are limits on breeding creatures with human minds or complete human-animal hybrids. Modifying an animal's basic components is okay, but changing its brain or other complicated systems raises major ethical concerns, which is reflected in these rules. When doing studies in this area, what are the possible risks, and how can we make sure they are done responsibly? Leave a comment telling us what you think.